Gina Woodburn, the Chief Executive Officer of the DHL Stadium. Hello, Gina.
Hello, John.
Is it just another event for the organisation, or does it being a sold-out rugby test, does it involving the Springboks and the All Blacks make it different in some way?
No, I think, always a full stadium event. It is always, we pay a little bit more attention to it, and it's a bit harder work. We start loading about, I think, 4 or 5 days ago, we would have started already. So it is a lot. It's a lot of equipment and goods and food that comes into the stadium, a lot of preparation, and a lot of excitement around that. You can feel the energy in the stadium through the week as it kind of builds up towards event day.
Really? So, I mean, the people who are bringing all this stuff in, they're not going to have much of a chance to watch the game. Those who are going to be on duty are going to be too busy hawking stuff. But there is a sense, different from if they were getting ready for a Beyonce concert.
Yeah, that has its own excitement. But definitely, when your national teams play, especially a match like this against, it really is the greatest rivalry. So there definitely is a sense in staff. Staff are excited. Everybody's excited, but they will be working. There's no doubt about that. If you work at a stadium, whether you're in hospitality or in the podium, you're working flat out. So you don't see much of the game at all.
How many people are on duty?
So I would say we most probably have, let's speak to the capacity of the stadium. We have a seating capacity of 58,000. And we have a total capacity of 62,000. So the difference between those numbers, which is 4,000, is the allowance for your staffing. So staffing is most probably around 3,000.
And does that include the security people who are ushering you in and telling you, no, you can't use that ticket, you have to use it from the Ticketmaster app and so on? Because, that's a very important part, making sure that people don't get too frustrated by getting in slower than they would like to get in.
Yes, that's right. So it starts with the gates. In fact, the gates are quite far out for this one because it's a broad precinct. So remember, there's a fan village which is over at the cricket ground. So you actually come in the chutes round about where McDonald's is on the forecourt, and you'll be searched there. And then once you're in the precinct, you can move freely between the stadium and the fan village at the cricket ground. So it really starts with your security on the border, and then right through to your cleaning staff, to your hospitality staff, your bar staff, the people that are working the kiosks on the podium. So it's an enormous operation, and from our perspective, it really starts with the load-in about 5 days before, 6 days before is the most complicated time. And now the stadium is actually in a kind of a quiet period where most of the work has been done. People are finishing up, they're neatening up, and there's a lovely feeling of expectancy in the stadium.
There is a chance of rain. It seems to be diminishing, so 10 millimetres says one forecast, 2 millimetres says another forecast. If it's 2 millimetres, it's not going to have much of an impact on either the game or the fan experience. But if it's 10 millimetres, then potentially there might be some very wet people. Does holding an event in the rain take different skills to manage than a dry event?
Yeah, it definitely does. And I think more so for the spectator as well. Because we don't allow umbrellas in the stadium. So it's really important if there is a threat of rain, to have a nice warm jacket. The stadium gets cold at night. And I know this is an earlier game, but it still gets cold. And if the wind comes up, then you get that real chill factor blowing through the stadium. So a nice warm jacket, a rain jacket is really, I think it's sensible. Even if you look at the weather forecast and think, it doesn't look like that much rain, it's still sensible to have a nice windbreaker.
And then tickets. People, I was asked by a listener earlier this week, saying Viagogo has some tickets for sale, and I was stupid and didn't get in early, and I'm considering whether I should pay the significant premium on the face value of the ticket. And I said, don't. And then we were talking about how do you know whether a ticket has been bought via Viagogo or via the original ticketing channel, which is the Springboks website, Ticketmaster. So how do you tell? Can you tell with a proffered ticket whether it's a legitimate one or not?
Yes, you can most definitely. There is only one source of tickets, and that's through the Springbok website. So if you have bought a ticket secondhand from somebody else or through Viagogo, that ticket is not valid. And that will be checked at the gate, and you'll be very disappointed. So the only other is from the hospitality providers who were providing tickets. But those people would have received those already, and those will be valid, yeah.
The 58,000 capacity for attendees has been reached a long time ago?
Yes, yeah. So it's sold out. Look, every now and again there are a couple of tickets released. So it is worth keeping an eye on the Springbok website, but I think now they've released everything and it's sold out. So my only, if I can just hop in, my only advice to people is really, really come early and enjoy the day. Don't come an hour before kickoff, because the traffic is going to be heavy. Get into the precinct nice and early, park in the city, so we've got less congestion in the precinct.
Gina Woodburn, thank you very much indeed. What a task to have to manage all of those people. Gina is the Chief Executive Officer at the DHL Stadium.